Start without you. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Welcome
back.
Cookie. Yummy. Yummy cookie and cheese.
You're welcome. I'm starting without you because that's how I make the rules here, not you.
I'm moving the mic away from my mouth while I'm chewing so this doesn't turn into ASMR.
Let's just move your head away. You're doing the way more hard part.
I'm not going to be like Tay Zonde during Chocolate Rain.
He turns head away to breathe. All right. You know, that joke probably didn't work very well because, you know, I literally did turn my head, so you probably didn't hear the punchline. All right, we're going to go ahead and put it to sleep.
It's the thought that counts.
It is the thought that counts. You know what counts even more than the thought?
A kindergartner.
Sweet.
Hey, it's Articuno.
It is. We made it. I didn't realize.
We're quantum flying.
He used a peck. We hadn't been hit yet. We were on full health. Peck one-shot us. I guess we just start cutting it. I don't know how. Oh, that's not gonna work very well. Uh-oh. Missed.
Eliminate status effects.
Yeah, well, that's good. Glad we didn't poison it. I was about to use toxic. It would have just healed itself. Oh, are you kidding me? All right, I guess we'll keep using Poison Tail. That's all I got. I'm using Binks because it's flying and we resist that. But clearly, Peck is something to be feared.
I mean, hey, it is.
That was the perfect storm of it having a really high regular attack and Binks having Zelmo having a really low regular defense. Uh-oh. Please use Mist. Oh, Haze is what eliminates status. Oh, no, stat change. Please use Mist. No, use Mist, please. Please. I don't want you to die, please. All right. We gotta start chucking
early.
them. We gotta start chucking them now. Go, Pokeball. 1. Oh. If you know what's good for you, you'll save yourself. No, don't. Use Mist. It's the only thing that'll keep you alive. Use Mist.
You're gonna die.
Come
Please.
on. Use Mist. No. We only have one more shot. Yes, Mist. I think that does get rid of status effects, doesn't it? No!
Why doesn't it get rid of status effects?
It prevents status effects from being lowered. Oh. Not the other way around. This is our only shot.
Wow. We failed.
Oh. I don't believe in saving before legendary. All right, bye, Articuno. I tried to let you live. I really tried to let you live. Well, shit. Guess we'll use our escape rope I saved. Normally, we could just, you know, leave. It's not an option we got anymore. All right, well, where is our escape rope? I believe I did keep it.
Yeah, you did.
Where is it? There it is, right there.
You went by it.
All right, I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, my Lord. That could not have gone any worse. Okay. Zelmo, can you fly your corpse over to Indigo Plateau for us? Thank you. Is there anything we've forgotten? We've done the 3 birds.
Yes.
We still have the 4 remaining Sevi Islands.
We can't do that until after the Elite Four.
And Deoxys and Mew.
Yeah.
So those are our things. So, yeah, we kind of have to do... There's nothing left to do but the Pokemon League. Everything has been done. So, knowing that, are you excited? Because I know I am. We have a team
Second longest series on the channel.
Is it?
It's gonna be.
It will be, yeah, because it'll pass
it
Platinum.
was Lego Star Wars. It's already past Platinum. Platinum was just 42. Lego Star Wars was 48.
Heart Gold is the second then. Or no, it was Lego Star Wars.
Yeah.
And then it was Heart Gold.
And it's Heart Gold.
Level 3.
Heart Gold is the longest now because it's 58 episodes, and then we have 2 bonus episodes, so it's 60 in all.
And those 2 bonus were like doing the extras for the episode 6 because I consider the final boss the finale, and anything after a finale is a bonus. Like no others. Can I?
Well, we did finish with Red. It was just there was
What is this?
There was a bonus one, and then there was a whatever 0.5, and one of them was the thing where we thought that we lost the audio, and we didn't actually lose the audio.
Right, and that dropped on April Fool's Day. Right, I intentionally did that. It somehow worked out that it fits. So like you just see an episode that's like way farther back in our history because it's on April Fool's Day. All right, now we surf across. I believe we didn't get like any waterfall or whirlpool, so I'm just assuming, marsh. Or I'm just assuming we're not gonna need it. Yeah, I think we're good. Are you kidding me? I can encounter Pokemon here.
Why do they even let you encounter Pokemon here?
And not just any Pokemon, but one that's difficult to avoid. And I didn't heal before the... Oh, my lord. I believe there is a Pokemon Center before Victory Road.
I believe there is, too.
I believe there is. So we will take that one.
Oh,
go right ahead.
The volcano badge.
I think, left. Right. And then you're going to check me for the Earth badge. Right. And there's the Earth badge. Please go right ahead. Uh-oh. Is this...
No.
We can't fly back here. We're going to have to beat Victory Road with Binks almost dead and Selmo just about there. Actually, no, we didn't come very far.
Yeah, no. We just went through the thing.
I don't want to waste people's time, but we kind of have to. I mean... What would you... Look at that distance. We traveled so far in such a short amount of time.
Well, yeah, because it's just the whatever thingies.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's just the...
Look at the amount of distance between Victory Road and...
Imagine how much land they managed to have purchased just to have, like, a checkpoint every mile. Like, how useless.
You mean a toll road?
It's not a toll. It's not even a road. Well, we're not paying anything. They're just checking to see if we have, like... proper certification.
I've only ever been on like 2 toll roads.
I have one really scary one. Did you know? So I know people that live in Florida, but recently, right before the whole epidemic thing, we went on a road trip to Key West, and that was amazing. We drove the Keys. Seriously recommend it. It's a little bit more pricey than just visiting Florida, but I mean, it's because you're not staying in the same hotel.
Yeah.
If you were to stay in the same hotel, you'd probably spend a little bit more in gas because you'd have to keep coming back, but it's worth it. I had so much fun on that trip. 3 of the locations we visited, completely the bottom fell out. Like, we visited a turtle hospital, and they were like, oh, I'm sorry, we don't have any tours open right now. We're like, this is a hospital, is it not? And we're about to pay $150 in tickets just giving to your turtle hospital, and you're turning it down. We were like, I was about to say, I was like, if we called the owner right now and we're like, yeah, she turned down $150 worth of tickets, she would have got fired. If I was the owner, I would have just been like, give him a tour yourself.
Yeah.
God, dude, $150? Especially right before they closed the Keys.
Oh
so
my
that
gosh.
place is not getting any more funding.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening was we had to find ways. Uh-oh.
You shouldn't know that.
No, I didn't actually. It's a water and ice type, and it used Blast Burn.
No, I'm saying that's a Lapras. I'm saying you shouldn't know that.
Yeah. So we ended up having to find interesting things to do. So we actually went to like a little dolphin reserve thing, and like we got to like hang out with dolphins instead. So like every single time something went wrong, a better trip came out of it. So I would strongly suggest going to Key West. But one thing I realized about it is the Florida, their highway system is littered with toll booths. And I know you're thinking, how in the world do you litter a highway with toll booths? You're constantly going to be stopping, right? No. Their toll booth is cameras. So you drive past them at full speed. You don't stop. But the camera, it remembers who's passed based on your license plate. And therefore, it charges you the toll for it. Yeah.
Toll roads
with cameras.
dumb.
Yeah.
They're dumb.
It was like 50 cents, I think, every toll we passed. Something cheap like that. But I mean, imagine that over time.
Yeah.
Like if
that was in your commute to work.
Exactly. Every day. Same thing.
Like you gotta pay that on top of gas and everything. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I believe, unless you had known this, I believe that rock pattern up there is able to be destroyed using it's able to be removed using this switch over here. So we're gonna move a boulder on top of it, so we can just go do it ourselves. Yeah. So I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna go up.
Yep.
Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, hey, that's a Dusclops.
Oh.
Not turning that down, but I really don't want to fight you. You know what? The Sevi Islands were higher level than everything, because we fought people with like level 40s, and now we're back to wild Pokemon being under us. We got scared for nothing. We're over leveled again.
I wouldn't say we're over leveled, because Twav's highest Pokemon was 53 and Giovanni's was 50.
Yeah, good point. That is a good point, actually.
Yeah. There's no better feeling than playing through X and Y and seeing the mascot legendary and having it be 8 levels under your lowest level Pokemon.
Yeah, that's a good one.
X and Y is easy, and a lot of people equate that to them.
Game.
And a lot of people equate that to it not being fun. I enjoyed my playthrough. Well, because my thing over the quarantine, I don't know if I've told you this, is that I want to play a game in each Pokemon generation.
Right.
So I played through 8. I replayed through Pokemon Y, and
Get ready. Blue and red are a chore.
Oh,
They are a chore to get through. Oh my lord, no, you have an option. There are 2 more Gen 1 games actually. There's Yellow, which they patched some bits in Yellow, but you're stuck with a Pikachu as one of your party members permanently. And there's one other Gen 1 game that most people don't realize.
Green.
No.
Oh.
Well, green, yes, but green is blue. It's blue. It's the same thing. There's one game that most people don't remember. Pokemon Stadium is also a Gen 1 game. And it is vastly better than Red and Blue. Like, oh my lord. You can play through it. Contrary to popular belief, you can play through those games. There is a story that you can go through and you can catch Pokemon and stuff like that. It is a thing you can do. You don't do it very often, but you can catch them. All right, I'm doing a stupid here. Actually, no, I'm doing a smart because we're faster, and she used a water move, but also healed, so we could use Rain Dance. And now I'll use Thunder, 100% accuracy. So I'm just gonna sweep the rest of her team with Thunder.
Well, yeah,
easy peasy.
So in my playthrough, I played Y for Gen 6. I played Ultra Sun for Gen 7. Shield for Gen 8. I'm playing through Emerald for Gen 3. Gonna play through Platinum Gen 4. Then probably Black 2 or White 2. I don't know which one yet, but it's gonna be one of the Black 2 or White 2s for Gen 5.
Are you kidding me? Why is a pure water type a Frenzy Plant? That's the strongest grass move. Okay, Fojog, you're a grass
type. Gen 2,
type.
I'm gonna play through Crystal because I already have that on the Virtual Console on my 3DS.
Good. Yeah, I have Crystal, Silver, and a randomized copy of Silver.
Then for Red or Blue, honestly,
it's a chore.
Kind of want to try to get a Game Boy for it.
It's like if I can, don't even bother. I will equate it. If you want to get a used copy of Red or Blue or Yellow, and a Game Boy to play it on, you are looking at a minimum of $80. $80 gone, just like that. Just so you can play a game legitimately. I would do this. I would buy it on the Virtual Console because you are still contributing to them, and then get yourself a emulated copy. I'm just saying, Red and Blue is a chore, so you're gonna need it everywhere you go, so you can grind up wherever you are. Because I swear to God, the Elite Four is such a steep difficulty curve. Like it's so unfair. They fix it in this game. They fix it, but in the other one, like, they jump up like 12 to 15 levels between Lance and Blue, and that's it. Like, you walk in, you're like, whoa, okay. And then you lose.
It's not. I don't want to play it on a Game Boy to support Nintendo or to prevent from pirating, because obviously I have nothing against pirating.
I sort of do, but in the sense that, like, if your whole shtick is to not sell it, it's to experience the classics, then I think you should be allowed to. Especially if the game is no longer available.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you could still get Red and Blue, but it's through Virtual Console. So,
now,
I mean,
let me preface that pirating thing by saying that I don't agree with pirating new games.
Yeah.
So, like, people cracked Doom Eternal like 2 days after it came out, if even then, because Bethesda released an anti-piracy software thing, and they released a version of it without it in the files.
Yep.
So, like, I don't agree with that kind of pirating, but like Red and Blue and like DS games, it's like, yeah, go ahead. Because they're not selling them anywhere officially.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's just how it is. I mean, I absolutely believe that if your idea of pirating a game, quote unquote pirating, is just finding a free version online through download. If your idea is to experience the classics when you can no longer have access to them, you are completely in the right. Because if you're not gonna sell it, there's no problem, because all you're really, it'd be like this. I equate it to, imagine the greatest painting of all time is created, and the museum sells it to one guy, and one guy has access to the painting that no one else has. And you're no longer able to experience that painting, because video game isn't art. It is an art. You have no ability to experience it anymore. I believe in that circumstance, you should be allowed to find another way to view it for free.
Yeah.
This is how it is. I mean, if you're treating it like an art that you should experience, there's no shame in it. But if you're treating it as like a business, like, oh, I can pirate these things and I don't have to pay money for them, so it's a free capital that I have access to no matter what, because these people are stupid and they can only cover their bases so much, then it's a really bad thing to do.
Yeah.
It's scummy. But like, every game that I've pirated, to most of the degree, I have bought multiple games from the people before.
Yeah.
Like Platinum, I own 3 copies of Pearl. They've gotten my money.
Yeah, same with me, except I own 4. But
I have a Platinum.
I don't own any diamonds.
Yeah, I own 1 diamond and 3 pearls and a platinum. Yeah. So yeah, and I own a heart gold too, and we did heart gold. So I don't own FireRed, but I will certainly pin all of that pearl and diamond money on it. Go ahead. This is how it is.
Yeah, but the reason that I want to get a Game Boy isn't because I want to support it. It's just because I like the novelty of playing Red and Blue on a Game Boy. Like, that just appeals to me.
Look outside right now. Oh, my Lord.
Uh-oh.
It's just like typhoon weather outside. But here we are, safely inside playing some Pokemon.
It's a nice atmosphere. You know, you got Moranda dead, Fojog almost dead, Zelmo almost dead, Binks almost dead.
Listen, this wouldn't have happened if they keep throwing trainers at me with the maximum view distance possible. Like, I enter the cave and 4 people approach me like, battle me.
Howdy. Howdy
indeed. Oh, it's a cowboy.
Yeah.
And the tail is the whip with the things in it. It's a flail. That's cute. I appreciate that. Oh no, it's using follow me. Now we can't hit its other teammate with the earthquake that hits multiple people.
And then I've kind of looked into it. This is the last thing I'll say on the Game Boy thing, just because there's nothing else to say. I've looked into it a little bit.
Right.
My cheapest option would just be to get just like a launch model Game Boy Advance.
Right.
Because if you're going to get a Game Boy Advance, most people want the SP101, which is the better backlit one. Yes. And a Game Boy is classic. So just the regular Game Boy Advance, like, I could probably get one on eBay for like $25.
Here is my Game Boy Advance right here.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
SP. Thing has lasted me a long time. Like, this thing has had gum stuck in the speakers.
Wow. I never had a Game Boy. My first console was a DSi.
You missed out. The best console out of every console I've ever had. I thought it used teleport. Out of every console I've ever had, the most fun I've ever had was having a Game Boy. And that's just simply for the fact that the games that came with the Game Boy they went back to their roots. As games get more and more accessible and more space and less restrictions, they get less and less and less creative. I mean, look at it. You look at it now and you look at Dark Souls and Bloodborne and all these like massive like games, and they all look visually the same. There's no style involved with
them. Well, that's just because now the game companies are like, oh,
that's what people want.
The consumers are like, they think that the consumers want just the realistic graphics.
Yeah.
You know, you look at what Epic recently did with the Unreal Engine 5, and they presented it running on a PS5. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, like that's super impressive. You know, it's loading trillions of triangles at once.
Yeah.
But, you know, I would much rather, you know, bringing it back to Pokemon just as an example, you know, I'd much rather play FireRed, or, you know, I'd much rather play Mario Kart Double Dash.
Yeah, but
which is my favorite Mario Kart, by the way.
I have Double Dash. It's right there.
It's so much
fun. It's a good one. It's called a road. It's called a Rainbow Road. It is a road that is rainbow.
Exactly.
That's what it's called.
And, you know, that's, you know, as cool as that game looks, it doesn't have this style to it. It doesn't have charm.
Yeah.
It's just, I can't remember where I read it, but there was some dude that said, the reason that we see older games as classic and why we keep coming back to the older games and not so much the newer games, even as newer, quote unquote, newer games age.
Yeah, or as more classics, quote unquote, start showing up as they get older. Like, I guess you could now consider Black and White classic.
Yeah.
Which I would never have when it first came out. I was like, this game is the newest it's ever been.
Yeah, you know, it's been, 14 years now since Diamond and Pearl came out?
Right.
And
I need to get out of here right now. Oh, no.
You see, the thing is that, sure, cool games look good. Like, new games look good. But the graphics only appeal to people for like an hour.
Exactly.
I'm like, ooh, pretty shiny colors for a little bit, and then it's on the rest of the game to keep up with it. But the developers put so much time and effort into the graphics that sure, they're beautiful and they're photorealistic, but there's no substance to the game.
Dude, I would wholeheartedly put all of my cards in that statement on Luigi's Mansion 3. Luigi's Mansion, the original, I could not put that down. It had so much tightly knit content into it that you didn't want to stop because there didn't feel like there was a right place to stop. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon came out, and I was like, this is the exact episodic game that I wanted. So I'd be at my brother's football game, pop it out, complete a couple missions on Dark Moon, and then you go. And then the next time you're sitting in the car waiting to drive to tickets to some show, and you're just sitting there in the parking lot while your dad's trying to find a parking space, completing a mission. It's like, it's one of those games where it's like the style kept it alive. Luigi's Mansion 3, it's like, at first I was like, it looks gorgeous, but that's it. It didn't keep me invested at all.
And that's even an example of a cartoony style being like that.
Yeah, because the cartoony style was lost. Because they just brought it back to, whoa, look at the realistic lights. Ooh, shiny. And Yooka and Laylee is the same way. Everyone hyped that game up like it's the spiritual successor. And it was. But the main problem was that it looked pretty, but it didn't play pretty.
Yeah.
It didn't play pretty at all. The whole problem with that was like, great, guess I'll grind for this ability. So it boils down to. So like, that's kind of what it's turned into. And I think the reason why the Game Boy Advance SP just did so well was because they made a handheld that once again had limitations, and they had to get creative to present the product that they were requested to do. So you get things like Sonic, where originally they were running at like 16-bit like audio and stuff like that, and suddenly you're asking them to like take that entire thing and compress it. You can't do it very well.
Yeah.
It doesn't work very well at all. So they had to find ways to get around it, and what results from it is one of the best Sonic games of all time. So like, that's why I enjoyed it so well, is because it brought back the limitations. I think the limitation itself is what they always say, that limitation is the father of creativity, and I absolutely stand by that. I mean, you got to have creativity yourself, but like, you can be creative and have no limits in front of you, and then you're left with, well, now what? There's nothing there. I mean, if I gave you 8 popsicle sticks and asked you to build a McDonald's, you'd be like, oh, I'm gonna have
the fuck?
You'd be like, I better get some scissors and get to chopping. But if I gave you $1 trillion and was like, build a McDonald's, you'd be like, well, now what? Oh, this is easy. I just call up a dude and have him do it for me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, the limits itself required you to get creative. And they just don't do that anymore. They don't. And I feel like the only way that they can really fix that is to artificially institute, like, the limitations. They need to find a way to make limitations come back. I don't know if that means stop the hype wars of making consoles bigger, better, faster, stronger. Sorry to completely steal from Daft Punk there. But they need to find some way to do that. I don't know how you would imagine that, but that's the goal, is to bring back those limits. It's like, there's no other way. There really isn't. I mean, the only other way is theoretically, well, you gotta put limits. Say, oh, you can only use this many bytes, and then tell them good luck. And if they end up getting to that point where they run out, they'll be like, you just be like, well, you're kind of SOL.
Yeah.
Glitches in games, that always pops up from a stem of lack of space. So they just have to store it somewhere. It's crazy that way. So, like, that's all you got to do, is you just got to make those limits come back. And I really don't think they're going to do that anytime soon. So
another thing that comes with that is the game developers have to have, determination.
Yes, because they have to
do the games and the motivation to do them good. Because, back in the day, whenever video games were just starting out, people were like, the game developers were like, this is the passion. It wasn't the industry that it is today. They were doing it because they loved it. It was art,
yeah.
You look at old reports from companies like, obviously Nintendo, they still care a lot about their games. Yeah. But they've obviously taken on more of a company side of things, more recently.
Yeah, you'll see
Mario Run and the Animal Crossing game on mobile that are both riddled with microtransactions.
Oh, does the what is it called? New Beginnings or something like that? What's the
New Horizons?
New Horizons. Is it actually riddled with
not
microtransactions?
Pocket Camp, that's the name.
Pocket Camp. I was going to say, I was like, that's tragic.
Yeah, there's an Animal Crossing game on phone.
I'm dead.
Pocket Camp.
I was below half health. I should have known. I didn't know he would have water spout, but that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Continue.
And I'm pretty sure it's that or Mario Run that's riddled with microtransactions. And then again, kind of more Niantic, but you look at Pokemon Go. How much of a fad that was? How many millions, if not billions, of dollars did that bring in for Nintendo? They're starting to see this kind of thing that other game developers saw.
Yep.
But
They're
you should not be like that. It was Shigeru Miyamoto with Zelda, right? Legend of Zelda.
Yes. And that was his first game that he
created it based on his childhood experiences of adventuring through the woods with his friends.
Yeah.
And that also played into the fact of Zelda's difficulty, which he made it so difficult and he put so many secrets in there so that friends who were playing the game would get together like on the playground or wherever and they would talk about it.
Yeah.
And that would help build that. And that's so cool. That's so passionate towards video games. And there are very much video games that can also be art. Yeah, it's definitely,
good example of a video game that is purely considered an art is like
Stanley Parable.
Yeah, Stanley Parable is a good one. Yeah, or what's some games that have very simple mechanics that are just like that they're just. Have you ever played? You wouldn't have. There's a game called Vib Ribbon for the PlayStation 1, and it's like a rhythm game. But it's a rhythm game in a surrealist background. A lot of PS1 games are like that, where they're just they take a concept and they gave it a real surrealist look to it. But that's how it is. You hit the nail on the head, where it's just it really has kind of taken a step back from the inspiration side of it. So, I mean, me and my brother currently are designing a game ourselves because I have the artistic ability to make sprites and music and stuff like that, and he has the coding ability to make games and engines. So we're currently working on right now, and the very first pitfall we fell into was using Unity Engine. I was like, don't. Because the moment that we did that, it completely butchered the style. It took all the inspiration I had out of it, because it was you make a delicate sprite, and then you see someone put puppets on it. So it's moving around even though it's made of pixels like a person, and you're like, this is wrong. This is very wrong. Have you ever played Drawn to Life? Any Drawn to Life works. They're all the same.
I don't think so.
Drawn to Life has this mechanic in it where you can draw your own main character. it's difficult because how are you going to draw your own main character and animate it?
I played it.
So what they do is their solution is they're animated with puppets, and you draw the sprite, and they split up the bits and arms and legs of the sprite. They separate it, and they tell you where the sprite's going to start, where it's going to stop. By the way, this thing is way too high level to be on Victory Road. So that's exactly how it works. It looks like that, where it's like they're trying to find a way. They had to find a way to make where you could draw your own character, and their idea was, oh no. All right, bye, Fojog.
Bye-bye.
Their idea was to make you design the pieces and parts of a sprite, and they'll animate it for you. That's what it looked like. It looked it looked like the engine was determining how creative we could be. So we immediately scratched that idea and just started working in 8-bit. And been there ever since. It's just, that's the way you got to go. You got to be like, no, I'm going to give myself limits here, because the moment I'm like, well, the sky's the limit, is the moment that I look up and go, wow, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Where do I begin? Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is a very, very deep and introspective episode of
Well, I mean, we gotta have a real talk episode in every series.
Dead. No. All right, Zelma, are you fast enough to run away? Oh, good.
Zelma's
great.
historically slow.
And Zelma's dead too. Bye. All right, see you later. We haven't game overed since Misty.
No, the Delibird after Misty.
All right. That is correct.
We barely beat Misty.
Come on. Yes. Oh, no. We need to leave now. We have revives, but I don't want to spend money. We don't have
the corporate aspect of the video game industry is ruining the modern landscape and will eventually cause video games to be just like movies in the fact that they will become oversaturated to the point that they will have very loud opponents of the very essence of it, not just opponents of what it stands for, such as people who oppose video games for violence or people that oppose movies for violence.
It's only a matter of time before you get the Bollywood of video games showing up, where all it does, it's like, screaming man runs from explosion. He do backflip now. Isn't the graphics beautiful? That's what it's going to turn into.
Indie games are the Bollywood of the video game industry.
Huh?
Indie games is the Bollywood of the video game industry.
Well, yeah, but indie games now are actually what are keeping it alive. Indie games, but not even to that, because now some big businesses are considering themselves indie games because they're lending their help. They're lending their company's help to indie developers.
Who?
Like Cuphead. Cuphead is an indie developer that got the help from like a
Microsoft?
Like hundreds of developers. It worked out because he held the developer status with prestige and was like, I'm not letting someone take my vision away from me. But like, that's what happened. They straight up were like, we'll give you the power, but we'll label our game as an indie game. That's what they're doing now. You'll see games like Microsoft partner with indie developers and then take the label of the indie developer and say it's an indie game. We're just using this first-party entity to sell our game better. That's all we're doing.
Gosh.
It's not true at all.
I mean,
it sucks.
You know what it is because of?
What?
You know what put all indie games on the scene?
What?
Undertale.
Did it? Well, indie games were around for a very long time.
That's why companies are starting to get into indie games just because of Undertale.
Yeah, I think the real shtick for indie games, like the big guns that like made them start thinking was, is this a trainer battle? No, it's not. Cool. I think the real drive for it. By the way, I'm essentially just trying to solve the puzzle before I die because I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
I think it's this right here. Right. Yep. Up a floor. It's only a matter of time, basically, before I die. So I'm just gonna try. But I think what really started that spark was ROM hacks. ROM hacks on original hardware was what initiated indie developing. Because if you look at those indie developers, they always have a game that they were always talk about. Like, yeah, I got started with this game. I made ROM hacks of it. I mean, Undertale. ROM hacks of Earthbound.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly where it started. All of them started from ROM hacks. And what's really funny about it, to end off our whole talk about video games and the big companies and stuff like that, is the big boys are now afraid of indie developers they're afraid of ROM hacks. So if we look at this, the new content that's being developed is, it's always, you're going to have those first party that are making games, and companies like Nintendo, they'll listen to their lower grounds and they'll make games off of new entities, but not as often as they used to be.
Yeah.
So what you get is they're essentially piggybacking off of the ideas of their little people. Is what they're doing. So the only real new content that's being produced, oh, sorry, Gwumlin, is from the indie developers. The indie developers come from ROM hackers. People making ROM hacks are now being shut out by the big companies, and they're being shut down and threatened with lawsuits because people are playing the ROM hacks more than the original games because they have more spirit than the original games did. So what you get is you're killing the ROM hackers, which kill the indie developers, which prevent big companies from making the games that actually sell. So it's strangling itself. So eventually you're going to get to the point where there's no music.
It's so quiet.
It's like when you're in a mall and you start yelling to talk to somebody and everyone just stops.
Right. We hope you excel. We hope you excel.
All right, next episode. Are we in Viridian? Yeah, we're in Viridian. See you when we get back. Bye-bye.